Welcome to Session 3. Before following this training session on assessment, please consider the following questions and, if possible, discuss them with colleagues. What is assessment for? Is all assessment testing? And how can assessment help the learner?
As we have seen, each topic contains several tasks that students will complete throughout the lesson with the teacher's instruction. When each task is completed, students must submit them for marking and to be saved on their work record. Tasks that have a clear right or wrong answer will be automatically marked on the app. These tasks will appear in the Marked section of the teacher's app. Sections that require the teacher to mark them, such as the writing or speaking, will be submitted and appear in the Marking section of the teacher's app. The teacher will review the task and give comments, feedback, and a score as required. When completed by the teacher, it will appear in the Marked section. When a task has been marked both automatically and by the teacher, the student will be notified and can see their marks and teacher comments. There are some tasks where students will self-mark. 1 mark for participation will be awarded to the students for these tasks, and it will be listed in the Marked section of the teacher's app. Tasks can be submitted more than once. Sometimes students may want to reattempt it, or the teacher may even ask them to try again. However, when a task is resubmitted after it has already been marked by the teacher once, it will be submitted in the Extra section, not the Marked section. It is important to note that every time a task is submitted, it will override the old task, so multiple entries are not created. As we have discussed, the ILPs and SMART targets are the optional extracurricular things you can implement to get to know your learners and to help you and them monitor their progress. The Imperial English courses do, however, also include timetabled progress checks and self-assessment opportunities. At topic 15 and 30 at each level of the course, there is a review. This involves a test and some self-reflection. The test includes the following sections: grammar, vocabulary, listening, reading, and writing. It lasts approximately 80 minutes. Teachers are given the test on their app and can give access to the students when it is time for them to take the test. Marking the test, like the EDA and other tasks in the course, the sections that have a clear right or wrong answer are automatically marked when the student submits. Sections that require the teacher to mark them, such as the writing, will be submitted and appear in the Marking section of the teacher's app. The teacher will review the task and give comments, feedback, and a score as required. When completed, it will appear in the Marked section. Each section of the test has 3 possible outcomes: distinction, pass, or fail. If a student fails a section of the exam, you should arrange a tutorial with them and complete the student meeting record form. This is a record of the meeting between the teacher and the student. When the student fails, an option to add a meeting will appear under the assessment section in the Student Meeting tab. During the meeting, you will direct the student to revise specific tasks from the course which deal with the problem area. Once evidence has been collected that the revision has been completed to a satisfactory standard, students are allowed to retake the failed sections of the assessment. At topic 15, if a student fails a section or sections and still fails after a second attempt, they can still continue with the course, but they will probably need extra attention and advice. At topic 30, if the student fails after a second attempt, they may not be allowed to progress to the next level. The second part of the session is a self-reflective review of the student's learning. They are given a grid, as you can see here, and have to complete it with things they feel they need to work on or improve. They are asked to give examples so that they evidence their areas for improvement. This is a similar structure to an ILP, but it's long-term and course-specific, as it reflects on the past 15 topics and looks ahead to the next 15 or next level. The other thing to do at this stage is a thorough check of the can-do statements. They are sometimes called can-do lists. We've mentioned these briefly already in the assessment session, but now we can look at them in more detail. Has anyone heard of can-do lists? What are they? Can-do statements are a series of targets that a learner aims to achieve after studying at a certain level. The targets are all achievable and will be covered during the course as they fit with the framework and topics. So, by the end of the course, learners will have been exposed to all of the can-do statements. However, they are intended for students to reflect on their learning, so it is up to them to decide if they feel they can actually do the item on the list. Our CDL asks the student to say if and how well they think they can do each statement, and also to evidence it. Asking for evidence, like the topic or task number, makes the student responsible for the answer, and also enables the teacher to check that they've definitely understood. The CDL are accessed on the Student and Teachers app at topic 15 and 30. You also do have to give input with the can-dos. If a student has said they feel they can do something well and you disagree, you should review and discuss this with them. Assessment is evidence of learning and an indication of how the students are doing. Effective assessment will allow you to see what objectives have been achieved by individual students and the class overall, and also what gaps there are. Many courses are designed for the students to work towards a final exam, and while the General English series does include a test topic at topic 30, this is not the focus or the reason for the previous 29 topics, but rather a way of checking your progress. Your continuous assessment of the student will provide a more reliable way of revealing the student's achievements. What forms of assessment are there? Formative assessment takes place during the learning process. The teacher is able to adjust or adapt their strategy based on the learner's needs. It's often done during feedback or consolidation. What examples of formative assessment are there? Discuss these with colleagues. Summative assessment takes place at the end of a learning point. It allows the teacher to check if the students have learned what was intended. What examples of summative assessment are there? Discuss these with colleagues. What other forms of assessment are there? What are the benefits of self-assessment? It's important for promoting learner autonomy and monitoring personal progress for the student so they can see their strengths and weaknesses. It can highlight their likes and dislikes and any blind spots. Self-assessment should start slowly and be built up gradually. Can you think of any examples or ways that self-assessment can happen? Can-do lists are used throughout the course with a dedicated lesson at topic 15 and 30 for self-assessment and reflection. Other forms of assessment can include things like portfolios, a collection of student work that they can show as evidence of their progress. Portfolios are designed to make students responsible for their work, take pride in it, and make improvements where they feel it is necessary. The GES does not have a specific portfolio, but the work record, vocabulary bank, and notes section will act as an ongoing testimony of work the student has completed and submitted. Ongoing, formative assessment is important for assessing students' strengths and weaknesses. They need to be identified as early as possible, as this can aid in your planning. It will affect differentiation in the class and may mean you need to adapt your aims. Weaknesses that are ongoing or that affect student performance and deterioration of strengths are something you need to look out for as part of your duty of care. They could be indicative of more serious problems outside of class.
These are the hashtag words to take from this session. Write a short summary of the session using the hashtag words and examples where possible.